characters who we're going to see. Speaking of which, we're going on to the ruins of Sarnath for the first time in this stream, and Cooler instantly in with the Nyx. This is exactly what we expected.
RigO
and Visor to answer back. We were just talking about this matchup.
Also Blazkowicz and
Clutch! Yes! That's what I was waiting for. My boy, the main man, Clutch, gets picked up.
Now, we're actually watching Cooler's stream earlier on, and he was using Clutch for a few hours, right? And as the game is in beta stages, it does receive updates and patches and changes and,
His Clutch
stuff
is hot
like
off the press, do you know what I mean?
Clutch has been buffed quite recently, the last couple of days or so, where his ability, you know, that barrier, that shield, one of his passives where he's moving, accelerating in a straight line, he will increase in speed the longer he moves. He now has a new passive, which is like a dash. He can use his jets to propel himself in any direction he's moving. That goes hand in hand with his acceleration and things like rocket jumps and stuff like that to make him really fast, really good at chasing you down, clearing almost impossible jumps of like massive amounts of distance. Now Clutch is not quite as, I don't want to say bad as it used to be, but definitely wasn't picked as often.
Clutch definitely wasn't picked a lot in duels previously, but it was for a clean reason, and it was for those weaknesses of, you know, he can't really chase you down, his mobility wasn't really on par with everyone else, and a lot of champions, their abilities and passives would benefit mobility around the map. He just didn't really do any of those, besides being really chunky, really tanky, and his shield protecting more than just him. He can protect his allies as well. But this change to him to make him so much faster, so important for this character. But Cooler, we did talk about how this guy likes to pick Nyx, and I mean, both of them have gone Nyx first. Picking Nyx first is a very popular strategy because she can really clean sweep a team. You know, when she gets a good read on where you're going to go. Speaking of which, using that Ghost Walk already, Cooler doesn't want to take any free damage.
Well, both of them starting off with Nyx. This is something we see quite often, though. This first champion Nyx choice. But again, on Ruins of Sarnath, Nyx can make some really good jumps on this using a wall jump. Oh, no, I don't think he saw him initially. RigO.
He got caught trying to select his railgun just right there. Got a couple of free moments there, but he's going to take that heavy armor regardless. Just like that. A bit of a strange exchange to start things off, but no doubt RigO would have heard the jump pad, but does it matter? Oh.
RigO standing still here. I'm not quite sure. Having some issues. Cooler.
Okie dokie. That's going to be a gauntlet kill from Cooler. Not quite sure what's happening. But, yes. No, let's just continue. Either way, forced onto Visor. I do wonder.
Well, regardless, that was quite a good exchange for Cooler. It looked like it was, you know, Cooler really took that first fight quite well.
Let's talk about what happened at the start.
So both of them kind of avoiding that confrontation. That's something we see quite regularly in duels specifically, is when you go for that initial burst, right? Where, okay, it's all about pickups, you know. What, am I near the Mega Armor? Am I near the Mega Health? Because, you know, the respawn's the same way. Oh, appears like I can't see his model. I'm not sure. He might be able to not see his opponent right now. Might be some issues.
That might be what's going on, but we'll update you guys in due time. But you were saying?
Well, regardless, they went off that sort of, not scramble, but that rush to what pickup am I near, right? Am I near Mega Health, Mega Armor, what weapons? Even right at the start. And that would explain, like, you know, when we saw initially and we were like, oh, RigO didn't see him. Maybe he straight up, if he can't see his model currently, it would explain that.
That might have happened.
That would explain what we saw in that start. But at the same time, you know, not just going with that first Nyx. I mean, both of them going with Nyx first isn't really a big surprise. Because we've seen that quite a lot already, and I expect we'll see that a lot through the weeks as we go on.
So we are going to be restarting the match, so we'll have that match back up and running in due time. But champion select, right? We talked about how we're likely to see a Nyx picked because it's just a popular character, especially with someone like Cooler. The Russian region likes this character
It's
quite
also
a lot.
a very safe pick, you know, because initially you might think very low health, very low armor capacity, and think, oh, you know, it's risky, right?
I kind of feel like it's on the contrary. I think it's on the contrary to that, because she's so fast, and the fact that, bear in mind, just because she's got little health, that doesn't necessarily mean she's easy to kill, because the second you see her and she's in a bad spot, unless you tag that magical rail that does that huge chunk of damage, or a direct rocket or something like that, she is going to use the Ghost Walk, and while she's invisible, she's completely immune from damage. However, she's stuck in that state for a set amount of time. You can't choose to come out whenever you want. So because of that, you know, just because she's got low health, she can go invincible whenever she wants. So is she truly easy to kill on top of being weak? Not so much.
I think it's just in a different way, right? Yeah. Like, she doesn't have poor defense because of her health and armor value. She just has a different way of keeping herself alive. But it also comes at the cost of the Ghost Walk that, you know, I don't want to say you can use it aggressively, but you can almost like semi-ambush people by, you know... Well,
people set up with that a lot.
Yeah, so you can set up with it, you know, wait around a corner near a big pickup or something that you know they're likely to go to and almost like ambush them with it, which we can see quite often. But at the same time, we do see it used more as a defensive way, just so if that fight's not going well, you hit that ability key and you just get out of there as much as you can. But at the same time, you know, we did see RigO pop up that that visor in retaliation, so maybe he did expect to have to pull that out.
I kind of feel like the visor was like an immediate answer back back to the fact that he'd seen Nyx. Especially seeing as, I mean, I guess in some areas it's almost like a next level Yomi, but when you can see that someone like Cooler, who you know picks Nyx, and this guy is very dangerous with this champion, having Visor as like that answer back to that champion pick, I mean, you know, if he's going to use the Ghost Walk as aggressively as he does, being able to use your sight and almost save it for a fight, you know, that's one element you might be able to do. If you know someone's going to pop the invisibility to try and finish you off or get that almost free hit, if you just save your Visor every time you see the Ghost Walk come out, that sort of ambush is no longer a thing because he can see her while she's invisible just because of the nature of how his ability works.
But it's also not a case of just straight up going, oh, he's got Nyx. I'm just going to pick Visor. That's Nyx dealt with. Who's next?
Okay, like, exactly.
You still have to outplay them, right? You still have to, you know, it's an FPS. You have to shoot them. You still have to be more accurate than they are. And right now, that's actually one thing we're seeing quite often. And we saw it in the first set, and we saw shades of it at the start of that last one, which I know is, I get a little bit less credible, I suppose, due to the issues. But at the same time, it's the accuracy on the rocket in that fight. It's the accuracy on the tracking on the lightning gun. It's the accuracy of the rail. And once again, it's those magic 3 weapons that we're seeing all the time. I expect we'll see the exact same team comp here. I can't imagine they'll be changing.
Yeah, I'm expecting we're going to see like a straight-up rematch. No doubt these guys are probably going to the same champions. We're going to see Nyx. We're going to see Visor. And on Cooler's side, going in for that Blazkowicz.
And then Clutch behind. There it is.
I'm excited to see what Cooler can do with Clutch because it's by far, I think, one of my favorite champions.
Clutch is hype. Clutch is straight up hype.
But he plays the game in sometimes such a unique way, like this massive big body with the only character in the game with a shield. But now because he can chase you, he can just be so in your face with it. It's a fun thing to watch.
Also, the character natively talks trash.
Oh, he's got the best voice.
There is
he's
trash
got the coolest
talk
lines
built into his dialogue that we all hear the whole time. Provided we get to see Clutch, obviously, you know, it will involve RigO getting him off Nyx first, but I hope we see Clutch today.
Humans are well and truly scum as far as Clutch is concerned, and it will just pace every single one. But either way, when we saw Noctis play and he wasn't forced off his Anarchy pick at all, you wonder, are we going to see it again? You know, because bear in mind it was a Nyx mirror at the very beginning, but will we even have a chance to see Cooler's Clutch? Only time will tell. We're going to go straight into this match. The guys have obviously restarted their client, they're back into the game now, and we're just currently loading in. So either way, Cooler, I think he's probably our pick to win this one, but early stages in the tournament, there are sometimes when results can be quite unpredictable.
I think it depends on how RigO's feeling right now, because obviously, you know, having that sort of like mental fortitude to, if you do have issues right now in between, you know, being able to play around with them.
That can kill your momentum, absolutely, but either way, Cooler does manage to snag that rail immediately ready. Bear in mind, RigO did manage to take the heavy armor, so the rail's not going to do as much damage, but at the same time, I mean, that's going to do enough. He's going to go for Mega
This
Health.
is a strong start. To get the rocket launcher, rail, and Mega
Oh, hang on.
There's that aggressive Ghost Walk you were talking about. He was ready for him.
Goes in for the surprise. Oh, and he just waits for him to jump into the rail. You know, we spent so long talking about how Cooler uses the Ghost Walk as an ambush, and we saw it used just like that. Didn't actually catch sight of RigO there. RigO, though, has popped his ability. He's going to see the fact that Cooler was down there even before he went through. Tags him in the backside with a rail. That's going to do sufficient damage to at least scare him off, I think.
Always sees him behind him too. Yeah, he's trying to chase him though. Hasn't quite managed to stack up on health, but here it is, the Mega ready for it. And here's that kind of like circuit almost that, you know, you run around just to make sure that you've got those timers in your mind.
RigO again though, being super careful. Again, the aggressive Ghost Walk. No doubt RigO didn't see. And again, the combo of the ground rockets to knock him into the air and the free rail. That's almost 2 for 2. Cooler looking so strong.
That's such a deadly combo too as well. If you hit that rocket and you do so much damage, that rail hits like a truck, especially if they haven't got any armor. And if you've just hit him with a rocket, you might have just taken away what armor they had, and RigO forced on his Ranger already.
If you've just caught them on spawn, that's a one-hit kill sequence. But again, the fact that the heavy armor is down for so long, he's just picked up the Mega Health, and history repeats itself from the first set that we saw. Cooler with a crazy dominant round number 1.
Almost like shades of what we saw last game.
Completely.
Again, just absolute. I think one word reigns consistent here: control. Having access, you know, controlling those big pickups, controlling the weapons, and right now Cooler getting a good spawn hit, putting it right next to the rocket and the Mega Health. Wow, that's a really fortunate situation to start in.
And because of Nyx's wall jump, he was actually able to sort of salvage that sort of farm jump just a little bit. Very versatile champion is Nyx, I think, but again, RigO sticking with the same champion, the Nyx mirror. I don't think RigO saw him up there, going in for the Ghost Walk, forcing it away, and Cooler just trying to establish space and answering back with his own Ghost Walk, probably trying to deny any sort of ambush whatsoever.
So he's heard that jump pad, not quite sure if he was ready for him to come around though. Yeah, he thinks he's going around the other side. almost like covering all those options at the same time, right? Sort of shimmying back and forth, trying to keep an eye on him. And also you can see him crouching, trying to mask those footstep sounds.
Oh, hang on a minute. RigO actually trying to sort of cut his losses and go in for the heavy armor instead, letting Cooler take the mega health, but a little bit too slow on the uptake. I think if he made that decision a bit earlier, might have got it, but Cooler just on it with the rockets and the rails. 100 on the rocket, 90 on the rail. So much damage against someone like Nyx.
Oh, that was a really good movement on 2 of those rocket jumps to get where he needed to go, but eating a lot of damage from that machine gun. Has picked up enough health, wow, just to top himself back up to 75. That's really good.
He's
mega health up any second.
Yeah, he's not going to be too fussed. They're probably going to trade right here. It's going to be, you know, trade the heavy armor for the mega health. But again, he knows he's down there.
He's not letting, he's going in for the kill.
Oh, RigO has no idea where he is, trying to see him. Goes in and the assassination.
The gauntlet.
The BM.
The disrespect. I not only know you're going to be down here, but I'm just going to cut you up, mate. Just like that.
But I think that was such a good call. Like, he knows every single time the heavy armor and the mega health spawn at the same time. Every time RigO was going to be down there to take the armor instead. Going in. No, oh no, goes in for the teleport. I don't know why he did that. Ouch.
But not one, but 2 gauntlet kills in that one round. You could tell Cooler just...
He's feeling himself.
He started to move towards the armor to the left. You know, he thought, okay, right, he's not going to teleport to it. But the reactions, as soon as he saw he teleported, he just turned around, got the blade out, and was like, right, that's it, round over.
I think that was one of the most assertive ways to say, mate, that wasn't a good idea. Again, going
right now, not as much of a fortunate spawn this time. Mega health and rocket already gone to the side of RigO.
Actually, I think Cooler probably expecting RigO to go down and take the heavy armor. But actually, because he hasn't, he's going to be able to retreat now. And there we go, he's going to pick it up. Obviously, he can't take it while he's invisible, but either way, that's a good take.
I was actually really brave juking on the side of Cooler as well, though. And I mean, RigO's peppering rockets down at him, expecting him to go near the middle of the stairs. He just hugged the wall and stayed there.
But again, once again, we're going to see this fight in mega health. You can consistently see what the players do. They time these pickups. They know that it's a 30-second cooldown on both of those. So when they know it's going to be back, they do take the fight to these locations. Both players missing rails and rockets, living to fight another day. But Cooler, I think he's got the height advantage here.
That was also good for RigO, though, because RigO not only had the rail, he also had access to rocket too. And Cooler is just able to get out of that fight, pick up the rocket. And now he's trying to stack up again, get himself some armor, knowing he needs that to survive a rail. And another miss on the side of both of them.
That would have been a really nice rocket if it connected.
Oh, a little bit of damage there. RigO missing quite a lot of these rails right now. It's working out too well for him.
Hang on, he's gone out again. Oh, he's gone behind him! Is it enough? No! Forces out once again because he's invisible. Cooler was unable to take the mega health, but it doesn't matter at all. Double rail straight like that. But it would have been a good play from RigO if he was able to finish it.
That actually almost turned around to bite Cooler. You saw Cooler got his gauntlet out again. He was ready for another kill, but RigO was right behind him with the Ghost Walk.
But I think that's the one thing we have to bear in mind is that every time there's a fight, Cooler most of the time has access to that Ghost Walk. He'll use it defensively when he knows he has to survive, but if he knows he's going to secure a kill, he's going to use it aggressively. It's just knowing when to use these abilities, you know, the sort of the intricacies of each champion. That's where these top players really get separated from the rest.
So again, once again, trading out that mega armor for the mega health. RigO's going to pick it up and stack up some health, but armor's not looking too hot right now. At the same time, he does have that natural health pool. It's going to give him a little bit of an edge in terms of just raw health, but Cooler getting around, trying to pick up those weapons, actually completely ignoring Lightning Gun as well. He's only really going for the rocket and the rail.
With the way he's been playing, it's almost like he just doesn't need it. The fights are quick. You know, he knows exactly where he needs to aim, and he catches him off guard.
Oh, misses a rail. That could have been really huge. Another one missed back-to-back. Hits the third, though.
Hang on, RigO now. He can afford to land that rail, and Cooler's going to have to get out of dodge. Doesn't want to take a single more hit. Speaking of which, does manage to get away on the mega health. If RigO would have just stuck through, maybe landed one more rail, we would have seen the champion go by. And Cooler would have been forced off his Nyx for the first time. Hang on, aggressive again.
I actually really love that though, because RigO just used his piercing sight to get a grip on where Cooler was there. So as soon as he knew the piercing sight was down, Cooler went in for that Ghost Walk, used it aggressively straight away.
It's definitely a matter of patience, you know.
Oh, that snapshot! Wonderful stuff by Cooler, taking out RigO's visor again, leaving him with the Lone Ranger again.
But the thing is, RigO's down to his final champion, but Cooler not only has the damage output of Blazkowicz, he's got the sheer tankiness of Clutch. A comeback like this, I think, is a very tall order, especially just look at the champion pool and the player behind the wheel. I mean, even his Nyx has just collected the mega health. So stacked and ready for the fight. I'm ready to call this one, to be honest. Going in for the gauntlet again, getting a little bit cheeky. Will he regret it? Nah, straight in with a rocket.
And once again, we see Cooler not forced off Nyx whatsoever, was able to stick with his first champion the whole time, had that Clutch ready to go, that Blazkowicz ready in the back, but didn't need either of them. Just that confidence, that control, again, the control just to completely dominate.
But a huge part of this, I think, was just really intelligent use of that Nyx Ghost Walk. I have no doubt we're going to see that used more, not only just from Cooler, but throughout the night. It's such a universal ability. You know, if you see someone, you can sneak in there and take that unsuspected hit. And it's also a matter of patience. Cooler wasn't using it in open sight, because if you see Nyx go into Ghost Walk, you see the blue phase, the effects appear, you know she's invisible. It's quite hard to hear, though, so if you use it around a corner when you know they can't see you activate it, that's just going to be a completely uncontested, just, you know, reappearance into whatever weapon you've got. But the combo of ground rocket into rail, I mean, that you can tell that's something Cooler's been practicing, right? Just knock him into the air, they can't do anything.
That's how he started it off. You know, that was a wonderful way to get things going. I mean, it's a tried and true Quake combo, right? You hit them on the feet with a rocket, the blast radius launches them into the air, and then while they're in the air and have no control over how they're going to land, you quickly flick up to the rail and then just finish them off. And that even comes down to what we saw at the end there, though, is that awareness of knowing what weapon to swap to at what time. Like at the end, where we saw him going up the jump pad, RigO sort of used that right at the end just to get a little bit of armor. All he wanted was a bit of armor with Ranger. He just wanted to pick up just a little tiny bit of armor.
Just let me have this one thing, yeah, Cooler, for crying out loud.
Just let me get the armor. But he was in the air for just a split second, and that was enough time for Cooler to go, oh, airborne, rail.
So that was a really dominant game, number one. However, it isn't over. The series is always going to be a best of 3 maps, even though the maps themselves are best of 5 since the patch. But at this stage, he's now going to have the option to choose the map. You know, if RigO goes, right, this map clearly didn't work out, he now has the option to choose the one he wants to pick. And not only that, but obviously now he's going to have the option to change his champions if he wants as well, and just reevaluate his strategy a little bit. If he's got other champions, we're probably going to see them now. Normally when a set goes really dominantly or a map goes really dominantly, we see a change of some sort. If not the map, definitely the champions.
I think if anything, a map change now, especially when you're up against someone like Cooler, that there's a very low chance that Cooler's going to have a weak map, you know what I mean? A map that he's not good on. You know these guys are prepared, they're coming practicing. So in this situation, you almost think RigO's just going to go with a map that he's like, okay, well, he's not uncomfortable on any map. And even if RigO, you know, is confident on every map, he might still go to his, like, the one he feels the strongest on here.
There's always a favorite map. Even if it's not necessarily your strongest map, it's possible to have one that's just a favorite, the one that you have the most fun playing on. And I think actually enjoying it is actually part of the experience. If you're having loads of fun playing, sometimes you might be eased up. Yeah, here we go.
So we're going on Corrupted Keep for, could this be the, well, the second time today? I think we saw it before. Again, that Nyx, Blazkowicz from Cooler again. This is the same draft picked back to back. But,
here's the element.
Galena.
Yeah, Galena gets picked instead. That's one of the elements. I think that's on Corrupted Keep. We've said this before, but it's a small map. She has access to the totems. And actually, when Neutrino fought against Cooler in week number 2 of 125 FPS, it was actually a Galena. Ultimately, it was actually a Galena totem that sent him out of that tournament.
I saw that.
Neutrino made the comeback with Galena, where he had positioned a totem right on the heavy armor. And he just caught Cooler's Blazkowicz with just a good air rocket. It knocked him straight down. He landed on it, exploded, died, and then Neutrino managed to really steal the match away. But, you know, either way, it's going to be something that Cooler is, you know, he's ready for it. It was an occurrence that happened, but it's not going to be like the be-all, end-all, and nice. So while we get back into this match, as you can clearly see, we are going to see both Nyxes get picked once again. And it's, you know, it's looking to be a similar matchup. The only change up, with the exception of the, you know, the change to Corrupted Keep, but this Galena pick, I don't think this is the last time we're going to see Galena picked on this map.
Well, this is going to be our warm-up phase coming to an end now, so break time is over. This is make or break for RigO. 1 game down, 1 map down, I should say, versus Cooler.
This is a single elimination bracket. If RigO goes down here, he is going to be out of the tournament for this week, and Cooler will advance.
Oh, well, again, we actually saw Noctis do the same thing. The area denial with the nails from this nail gun. Just trying to get him off that rocket launch. Not giving the option. Actually got one anyway, but there we go. That really is case in point what I was talking about earlier on, where it just comes down to that straight up 1v1, same weapon, same character. You just have to be more accurate. And over again, Cooler is just able to pull off ahead in that situation.
Well, denying the rocket from the opponent on this map is such a pivotal thing. As I say that, really nice trail with the lightning gun as well. But denying the rocket from your opponent on this map is so important because it's such a dangerous, you know, single projectile weapon. And if they can't get it, you have the complete advantage in the fight.
Well, with there being no rail, that kind of is your go-to single hit power weapon. So low. Cooler with that clutch activation. He popped the visor. That's what we're talking about. Visor was ready with a piercing sight. Heard her go invisible. Popped the piercing sight, and that was enough to finish off Cooler. No escape.
I mean, that's case in point exactly why we've probably seen this champion get picked. Going in, though. Here comes Cooler. Oh, and he actually manages to get him. RigO Catching him going for, I don't know, maybe going for the ability too early, but RigO actually, hang on, signs of life. This guy's coming back.
He's actually, for the first time in this series, found himself at an even ground here. That last character, if he can take out and take this first round, that'd be huge. Oh, there's the Dire Orb by Cooler. RigO was looking so strong, but Cooler ready with that ability.
He's going to really, really well played. Really well played right there.
But RigO looking a lot more comfortable already, though. I mean, it could be the map. It could just be a bit of a confidence thing, knowing that, you know, you've gotten over that first hurdle. You took out the Nyx. Cooler's Nyx was off the table. And then just like that, was able to take the second character as well.
And that was also as a Visor with no ability. So it's just like an honest, you know, 1v1 fight in the situation. Bear in mind, at that time, Cooler had popped the Blazkowicz ability as well. But here comes another fight. And Cooler very early using it. Hang on, aggressively again, trying to shoot the ground. Uses it a little bit too early.
Almost.
And the downtime between rockets was all Cooler needed to get that extra bit of health he needed.
Almost takes himself out in the process as well, but just as quickly as I can say that, has already stacked himself back up to max health. Oh no, RigO popped down his totem and is already destroyed by Cooler.
There's not a huge amount of cooldown on that. Obviously, take into effect the passive of RigO as well. If Galena picks up health, it will reduce the cooldown of her totems as well. So she'll definitely have it for the next fight. I wonder if it's going to be enough.
Is it going to make a massive difference? Here we go. We see that machine gun doing a lot of damage from a distance, really adding up. RigO really committing to this one, isn't trading out the damage quite as effectively as maybe he'd like to.
I feel like RigO may have thought he did more damage to Cooler than he actually did. Cooler had, like, he still has armor left, be it 2, but he hasn't even gone into his health at all.
Well, that is almost like the benefit to having low armor, I suppose, or like a single benefit is it doesn't take that long to max out again. But as I can say, that picks up the big armor just to keep himself massively stacked.
Cooler's going to go for the fight instead of the Mega. I think the Ghost pear-shaped, he's going to try and collect it now. He doesn't even need the Ghost Walk because I think just getting the health back with the Mega health was all he needed. And now he can save the Ghost Walk for the next fight against Visor.
So now he goes for Visor last, whereas last time we saw him go for Visor straight away and was enough to finish off Cooler. He actually went to Galena second this time instead. And Visor hit, wow, that was quick. And that's just a testament to how fast your health can just disappear if you're at the receiving end of a rocket launcher.
I just don't think RigO was ready for that. I mean, it sounded almost like he'd popped his ability and he was sort of scouting the map. And the final place he hadn't checked was the far right-hand side. That's exactly where Cooler was. And before he's even noticed he's there, he's taken 2 rockets and he's already down. And it's actually going to be a match point situation for Cooler. He has to get this round and that's it.
Fingers crossed, any confidence that RigO was able to muster after that first round he can really bring back to, because it would be a shame for him to go down here that quickly.
Hang on a minute. Cooler almost trying to sort of like tease him with the sound cue. He knew that RigO was there to try and control the rocket. If he could just get him to look the wrong way, he would have had a better situation, and Cooler very convincingly taking that fight as well.
There you go, pops the Visor straight away this time. No messing around, is here trying to counter, but has already eaten a ton of damage with that rocket launch from a distance. The Mega Armor taken straight away, that timer. Mega health on the cards as well. RigO was able to manage to really guarantee himself that pickup in response.
Take up another fight. Bear in mind, Nyx is particularly stacked right here.
Indeed, you saw that sort of like shimmying, dancing left to right, just trying to avoid those rockets.
But this is the kind of fight that we're going to see because Corrupted Keep hasn't got a rail. Something like the heavy machine gun is going to do such a good job of kind of almost sniping forward. Bear in mind, with the changes to the heavy machine gun, it's a little bit more pinpoint accurate when you use the right-click aim.
And also does more damage as well. The direct rocket on the way down. RigO just chose to go down at the worst possible time, and Cooler able to bring himself once again on the verge of a 1-character victory versus RigO.
The only reason that rocket connected was because RigO mistimed the respawn of the Mega Health by just 1 second. He went down too early, and just like that, Cooler going in for the kill. Wow, just like that. Great game from Cooler.
Yeah, indeed, and definitely not a huge surprise as well. Cooler looking so strong, such a formidable Quake player overall, and really able to bring it there. Yeah, to RigO, props to RigO, thanks for playing, but Cooler is able to move on ahead.